And we're live. Welcome to the Flannel panel. We got the T's and Jason here. A little short staffed on the flannels tonight, but we'll have some fun with it. Where the topic is Super Bowl snacks with a side of football, but I have a feeling we'll get into some flannel talk in a little bit. So yeah, say hello, guys, and what are you guys drinking tonight?
Who's going
Hey,
first? You
I'll
go.
go. I'm just about got to the bottom of this new riff malted rye, so I'll be switching up here in a minute. But it's pretty. It's one of my favorite. Definitely my favorite from New Riff.
So that was a special release, wasn't it? That new riff malted
Yeah, I
something.
thought it was. It came out like in the spring or something one year, so I thought it was a one-time deal. But last time I was at the distillery, they had them there, so I bought two more. So they brought it back.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
I've heard a
nice.
lot of good
Yeah,
things about that one.
yeah. It's we actually got to taste it when we did one of our barrel picks. They like a bonus pour after our tasting, and like 2 years ago, they were. I don't know how old it was back then, but it was pretty good then. But and I'm excited because it's 6 years old, so most of their stuff's still four. So this is like their oldest release.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. And what
What you
proof
got,
is that?
Jason? It's just a
What,
100 proof.
just 100 proof? Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
So it's
You're my
bottled.
hero, Troy. You just casually dropped like total humble brags. Barrel pick, store visits, bonus pours at the distillery. You
Yeah.
gotta love it.
Oh, and also Friday we're leaving to go down to the Beaumont.
Oh
Oh, that's right.
man.
Yeah, and there it is.
Um,
That's not even a humble brag. That's just a brag.
I'm just very excited. My
Yeah.
goal is to wear a Dixon and get a picture with Dixon.
Yeah, I can get it
are
on
you
the
doing a
Flannel
tasting
Panel
with him?
Instagram for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, nice. Um,
That's awesome. So you're going this weekend? When was that?
yeah.
Sorry.
We're staying Friday and Saturday, and we have a tasting on Saturday.
Nice. And the wives going as well?
Yeah, there'll be six of us total. So we're only doing four in the tasting. My wife and one of the other wives aren't tasting, but
Okay.
that's probably for the best.
yeah, and that's one of those tastings that you don't have to train for.
Yeah,
Yo,
yep.
yeah. Man, I'm so jealous. That's definitely we were talking before the show a little bit of whiskey weekend batch too, and that tasting with Dixon was definitely a highlight. What a cool experience. So
Yeah, it's been a
Hmm.
goal of mine since we came back from batch two to take my friends down there. So it took a couple years, but we're finally making her.
well, it's not like it's been the easiest couple of years. I think we
No,
spread COVID all after that batch too, but
we definitely did.
that'll be awesome. Jason, what are you into tonight?
Well, it's funny because I have a friend at work that I was trying to get it. She asked me about whiskey and wanted to has questions. Oh,
Yeah. Nat says, "Have they seen Dixon? The wives might want to change their mind."
Oh,
So,
they're
no.
coming to the tasting. They're just gonna drink the
oh, they're
whiskey.
not drinking. They're just gonna gawk.
Yeah, they'll definitely be there. Yeah.
I get it. I
Thanks,
get
baby. I love you too.
it.
So anyway, yeah. So she asked about getting into whiskey, and so I gave her a bunch of blind samples, and I ended up giving her some of the RC6, which
Oh,
happened
cool.
to be her favorite. But it's fun when I was pouring the sample, I took some for myself, and I forgot how much I love this bottle. So I'm trying to kill it in Ohio State.
Oh,
I ain't kill
that's
it.
the
Yeah,
good
we'll,
stuff.
we'll give it a shot. Let's do it.
I've never tried the RC6.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
Neither
It's
have I.
we haven't seen
it's
any of those
easily my
fancy
favorite
ones.
of the bunch.
Yeah.
Um, and it's actually aged pretty good in the. It's mellowed out a little bit with the air, but I like my personality. I'm sweet and young
Oh,
and rich. So I
and
like.
that's
I don't like the. I don't like
that's
the mature flavors in my whiskey. So
says
it's just sweet and
says the
tasty.
guy throwing a 27-year-old or something at the 12 days.
12 days.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was only 15, but
Oh,
even
was
that
it?
one, it was
Yeah.
rum finished. I really love that. I have another bottle coming eventually.
Oh yeah. Oh, fancy. Yeah.
I
So
might bring
Jason's
it to
just bragging. Tease will throw
just a
the
little
humble
bit.
brags in, and
I'll
Jason's
bring
just
it
gonna
all.
go full out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh,
I'm
hey, I
just
didn't even brag about my our tasting we get on in Tuesday. We're making a week of Whiskey Weekend Batch 1, so we have a tasting with Dixon on Tuesday.
Oh, nice.
And well, Nat has a taste with Dixon on Tuesday. I can sit back and
Watch the fireworks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's fun though. Like Nat and Dixon in their element. Definitely pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I hate it when Dixon asks you what notes are you getting, and I'm getting nothing.
What notes are you getting? It's good. Yeah, it's good whiskey. So
Right now, that last drink went down the wrong pipe.
Oh, that's my boy. Hey, buddy.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, I'm just drinking some coffee. Actually, I've been trying to get. I think I mentioned it last week. I'm trying to get into a routine of coffee and grinding your own beans and all that stuff.
How's
So
that
I
going?
have a new roast. I like it. I like it a lot. I need to get a good grinder. I think that's and with an E in it, not just a straight R. So
Hey,
yeah.
Either one
That's
of
it.
laying out the grinder jokes from last week. It's
That-
easier when you're typing them in. I don't want to say them in.
I
out
know, I
loud.
know. That said, the coffee brand I have is called Balzac's, so it's fitting. But I guess it's a local brand. It's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. But I also have some of this this fancy barrel aged old fashioned from our buddy Ty.
Still got a little left.
Just a wee bit left, and then I got that as backup if needed.
You know, how long are you going to expect me to be professional when you start throwing out words like grinder and Balzacs?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm banking
I
on
mean,
you not being professional.
I don't
can
think
only
we have
go-
either one of those in Ohio.
You can only hold so far.
Oh, fresh ground. Nat says fresh ground coffee is good for my liver, and I'm going to need that. So thank you for the tip.
I am not a coffee guy. I just
No,
Mm-mm.
I will. So you know what I had that you are? I had a Monster Java the other day. When was that? Last Thursday. I was exhausted driving home. It was snowing. It was
Mhm.
terrible. So I stopped off, grabbed some gas, and grabbed a Monster Java. I got home and I was like buzzing. That thing like hit hard. I think I was just that like so tired, that it hit pretty hard. But man, I don't know how you drink those like you do.
I don't know. There's something wrong. I mean, obviously there's something wrong with me, but I can drink an entire can of Monster and be asleep in 10 minutes. It does not. I don't know if I have such a high tolerance to caffeine from all the years, but oddly enough, when I drink alcohol, I get wired. Like I can't sleep if we have a night of drinking.
Really?
Yeah. But when I could drink 3 Monsters in a row and I could still sleep that night.
Oh wow.
I've
Wonder-
never had an energy drink in my whole life.
I wonder if Eric does. Eric says, "What's up, my dudes?" Or Whiskey Mutant.
Oh, he's a
Wonder-
night shift guy. He's
Yeah,
He
I
seems
wonder
like
if
an
he-
energy drink guy. Yeah, He's probably like IV in him.
Yeah.
funny enough. I'm normally a night owl anyway, so I was gonna say pound the Monster, but
Jump clap.
jump clap. On day shift rather than night days kill me. I think I'm just nocturnal. It's not even insomnia because I just got off my night shifts, and
Yeah.
I get home. They're 6 to 6. I get home 7:30. I'm out cold. I'm waking to my alarm at 2 in the afternoon on nights. But when I'm working day shifts, it's a struggle to even fall asleep, and I'm just dragging all day long.
That's tough. I just want to. So I'm in the I don't want to sleep phase right now because the girls I have 2 young kids. They get me up super early, and then it's like 6:30, 7. I try and push it as long as I can, and then by the time they go to bed, it's usually like 9ish. Hence why we're on now.
Mhm.
But from 9 till like 2 a.m., it's like, oh, I need to be productive. I need to get stuff done. I need to do all whatever. And you clean up and try and get some work done or whatever. And then I end up staring at a computer screen, usually just blankly. Nothing's on it. I'm like, I should be doing work, but I really should be sleeping. But
Mhm.
it's been a weird go lately.
That's where it starts. Before you know it, you'll be nocturnal like me.
Yeah.
That's actually really when it started when I had kids. It's so
Yeah.
much easier to just put them to bed and clean up rather than fight with
Yeah.
it. that whole
Alvina,
progressive thing.
Alvina Energy. I don't think I've heard of that one. There's so many out there now.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, he would need it too. He's a night shift fella like you. Yeah. What flannels you got on today? We got a eclectic Dixon mix, it looks
oh yeah.
like. Yeah.
Red
I
versus
want the
blue,
old
baby.
classic. The old.
I love that one.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
The
That's
old
the Black Rifle one.
Yep.
Black Rifle.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love that. Great stuff.
Mm.
I got the Sutton on. It's not looking bad on camera. My wife made fun of it a little earlier, saying it looked a little, speaking of babies, like excrement, but I think it's all right.
It's all good. I like
What do
those
you?
kind of. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. What do you got on, Jason?
I've got the suicidal tendencies one. I am a creature of the 90s, and I loved suicidal tendencies. And like I said, this one's really, I mean, they're all really well made, but I just geeked out about it. You can see the logo here on the pocket.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
So
I
I'm a
love it.
sucker for all of the music ones. I just got the Guar one.
Oh yeah.
Just out of habit. I didn't really want to because I thought it would look a lot like the Black Rifle, but it's up close is really nice.
Oh sweet.
And then
Didn't you just buy a new one this week also?
Yeah, that was the Guar.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the week before.
Did you see the 12 gauge? The 12 gauge just came out.
I saw that was good looking. But
I like that one. Yeah.
I had expended my
You hit your
allotment
limit
for the month.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really like the new one, that blue and brown. That's beautiful, but I just can't.
Oh, the one Ty sent in the thread. Yeah. Yeah. What's your take on snaps though? Are the new ones all coming with snaps, or are they half buttons? Do you know?
They're half. Well, this one is half and half. It's funny because the pockets are snaps, and the top button, and then the regular ones are just buttons.
Oh yeah.
So I get a lot like that back and forth. Yeah.
Eric just got his Guar in, and he's looking into some that might be.
That would be awesome.
Thing.
Eric.
And Eric's here. Laura and Eric are watching. That's great. Yeah. So Super Bowl. The title of the thing is the Super Bowl. I'm not the biggest football guy, but I'm in for the food aspect of it. So that's why it's Super Bowl snacks with a side of football. I know Jason is a football enthusiast, maybe borderline nut. Maybe more than that. He's ran a football league that we've been a part of for a while and loves it. And I think he's right into some of those Monday morning quarterback podcasts and all that stuff. So what did you think of the game? What did you think of the food? How was it?
Food wise, it was the game. I actually really liked it. And as far as I'll put on my geek hat now, but the one thing I love about the NFL right now is just the parity. There's just no dominant, easy wins. Every playoff game, minus the first round, came down to the last second. It was really exciting football, and that's all I really was looking for. I was leaning towards the Rams mostly because of Stafford and Whitworth and letting some of these guys get their rings. And Cincinnati's young. They'll be there back. They have such a talented team. They'll be back they'll have more than one chance in the near future, barring free agency craziness. But
they look pretty good.
Yeah. So
I was torn, being from Ohio, most people were rooting for Cincinnati, but I was kind of rooting for Stafford. But my only hang up with that was I just really didn't want to see Beckham get a ring since, he just left the Browns.
Oh, yeah.
That whole mess. But he was playing good until he got hurt. I haven't really heard if it's a serious injury or anything. Have you heard anything?
It didn't seem to be too serious. They interviewed him after. I haven't heard any, I think it was just
I'm just thinking it's a Super Bowl. I mean, if you can walk on it, go ahead and trot back out there. What are you saving yourself for? But
sounds like somebody's bitter towards Odell. I can't say blame you.
Well, my nephews are like the biggest Odell fan, so I've been teasing them for years. The whole time he was on the Browns, he was terrible. Probably wasn't his fault, but so the whole game, he's they're telling him, they actually say he's the best wide receiver who's ever played. They say he's better than Jerry Rice, and I just kind of laugh at him. I'm like, he's only played like 2 full seasons, but so anyway, he got hurt, and my nephew, who is like 17, was almost in tears. And I won't say what I told him, but I looked at him and basically told him, I think he'll be okay. I think he just hurt his woman parts. But he never came back. So he must have been actually injured. So
the only downside to watching the Rams win is the way you felt about Beckham, I felt about Jalen Ramsey. I am not a Jalen Ramsey fan. I love cocky players. That's why Burrow doesn't bother me. You got to be cocky in this league when you're doing what you're doing, but thuggish behavior and intimidating behavior, and I don't know. I don't go for that.
And he had a little bit of a rough game.
And that's what it was fun to watch. The fact that he was.
Did you see the last play, the game-ending play, the sack on Burrows there? He was open going down the middle deep, like 2 more seconds, and never know. But I was mostly in it for the food.
Same.
Yeah. And what'd you eat?
Well, it's kind of a family tradition. My mom, we go to her house, and she's a cook and a caterer, and so she puts out a big spread. But it was your basic stuff: wings and macaroni and cheese, and she actually at halftime she made a little slider hamburger. So there was 3-4 different desserts, and it was kind of over the top.
Oh, that's awesome.
But that's what it's all about, I guess.
Yeah. What'd you get into, Jason?
It's funny for me. It's being from Utah, being fairly generic with my snacks back in the day. But it's a funny thing when you marry a Southern woman. You learn there's so many things that I learned about food that I didn't even know existed. Like pimento cheese, for example. I had never had pimento cheese before. Nat, actually, Will introduced it on the podcast one day. They were talking about it. Mm-hmm. And so I made it on a lark just to be nice to her, and I loved it. So now I make a batch every special occasion I get a hold of.
I've made it a couple of times.
Pimento cheese. We blew out the smoker this time. I did ribs. We did a rack of ribs. We did chicken quarters. I did sausage, and we even did one of my new favorite things, which is smoked cream cheese.
Oh,
if you haven't tried it, you absolutely should. It makes no sense at all. I did it as an experiment. You would think that it would come out just a melted mess, but it's so. Oh man!
Do you put something on it, like some sort of jelly or something?
It's
just
very
a spoon,
simple.
Straight.
Oh,
spoon,
that's it.
Yeah.
Well, you can do that too. Because what you do is you start out with just a block of cream cheese. You kind of lube it up a little with some olive oil, and then you hit it with whatever rub you want to do it. Then you score it to get all that juiciness in there, and then you just leave it in the smoker for 3 hours, and it comes out. And it comes out. It's almost like a cheesecake. It comes out kind of that soft, curdy like a cheesecake, and then I put pepper jelly or hot honey or whatever you want to do to it.
Like a brie, kind of like a brie.
No, it's even more custardy. It's weird. It's not like cheese anymore. It's like a custard. I don't know how to explain it, but it's so good.
That does sound delicious. So Eric's saying Burrows looks like a young Jim Brewer.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's true.
And Eric's saying jalapeno pimento cheese dip is fantastic. That's so good.
That is the problem I run into because I like to doctor stuff like I'm on Chopped, so I end up overdoing it. Nat likes things very simple, so I did the same thing. I added this last batch. I added capers and I added what else?
Is there cream cheese shortages?
Oh, really?
Or is that like slang for something? Is it an
Uh,
actual thing?
No, I don't think so. I
You
think
never
that's
know in
just a
Philadelphia. They
COVID joke.
I don't
or
know.
in
Like,
Pennsylvania.
I'm in Canada. I don't know what's getting across the border. Maybe it's made up here, and those
Nothing
trucks are just
anymore with
not
that.
shipping. Yeah, who knows? So, yeah. So Eric, it sounds like you got to get on that smoked cream cheese stuff.
So,
Yeah.
so I have to ask. I have to flip it on you, Ian. As a Canadian, what's your opinion of the Super Bowl? Are you just
Uh,
bored? You think we're all stupid? I mean, we treat it as a national holiday here.
oh, it's the same.
So,
I'd say it's the same here.
oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. Like, so we have the CFL, which is the Grey Cup.
I say there's no there are no Argonauts, but
Well, no, nobody really cares about the Grey Cup. I think the Super Bowl's the big football game, even up here. The issue is the U.S. versus Canadian commercials.
oh,
We want to see your commercials. Our commercials suck.
oh,
The funding up here, like whatever, like it's garbage. So we want to see. So
that's funny.
yeah, a lot of people, and like I think it's better now. You can find the U.S. feeds and everything, but like 10, 15 years ago, you'd have to like stream from somewhere black market ish kind of stuff to try and get the US feed, and it was a big thing to go to somebody's house that's got some kind of direct box or whatever, and all like it was a big deal trying to find the US commercials feed. So I think that could also be a big factor. And then halftime show, which the halftime show was pretty solid. I've seen
Yeah.
a few really funny memes.
Oh yeah.
Take on I loved it. My wife and I loved it. I did see a fun meme where it was like, if you love the halftime show, you should probably check on your life insurance. And I was like, oh no, like that's not
So
good.
that is that an old joke?
I think so, yeah, but I don't consider myself old.
No.
But no, that was a great halftime show. And Eric is asking, take on the halftime show in Canada. It was great. So I enjoyed it a lot.
So you were deprived of the Budweiser frogs back in the day.
Oh yeah. Well, we have to
I can
like
see you trying to find. I have this image of you like trying to find a black market channel to watch the Budweiser frogs on halftime show.
it wasn't the channel. Like we'd have to go to somebody's house that had the skybox or the direct TV
Oh.
box from the like half the like a few people would get the chips and everything and whatnot. So you have to plan out where you're going to watch the Super Bowl so you get the right commercials. Or you'd have to be on YouTube the day after and actually watch them. But
Is that why I had to get a VPN server just so I could get Letterkenny back in the day?
yeah,
That's just retaliation.
same thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Did you
No,
guys-
it was a. So go ahead, Troy.
Oh, I was going to just. I assume you've watched the newest Letterkenny, or you have a hard time getting it, don't you, Ian?
Yeah. So I can't. I can get it easily. It's just on the like least owned service up here. It's on Crave TV, which is not
Mhm.
like it's harder. I have to pay the subscription, so I just haven't done it. But when I do, I usually watch all the seasons again because they're pretty easy to watch through, and my accent, I guess, definitely changes. My wife's like, "What have you been watching?" Because I start definitely talking a little bit more like that. So,
This is gonna be my fancy story of the day, Troy. So don't give me any more crap.
Okay.
So with Nat's Range Rover, it's an older Range Rover, and it has the entertainment system with the TVs in the back of the headrests and everything. But it's old. It has the DVD system. So we actually bought the entire season discography of Letterkenny, and when you're in the Range Rover, you listen to Letterkenny on a loop.
oh, nice.
So if you're riding with me in the Range Rover, you can't get away from it.
That's awesome.
Letterkenny always gets me because I'll be plowing through the episodes and I don't know I'm on the last episode and it's over and I
They're
wasn't ready
so
for
quick.
it. Yeah.
So
No,
quick.
that's good. That's good. All right, back to food though. So if you had unlimited funds, if you had like a chef to prepare it, what would you want to eat during the Super Bowl? So you could have somebody make it for you. You could have it brought in, and you had unlimited funds to buy it for that meal. And let's top in. What would you drink while that's happening as well?
Well, I would. I love protein and meat, all that stuff. So I would probably like Jason's menu, all that ribs and
Cheese.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
There's
But
always cheese.
yeah, I could, I always say like steak and ice cream are my two things. Like I don't care how much you
have
give
them
me. I always
together.
wish there was a little bit more.
That's a good motto, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. You eat the last bite and you can,
Is there a special cut of steak?
well, I'm a ribeye guy, I think.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, I don't do fillets usually. And I always said it's more of a quantity over quality kind of thing. I don't want the best 8-ounce steak you ever had. I need like a 16-ouncer.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I have a feeling Jason's going to get pretty elaborate here.
No, it's funny because it's kind of a deeper question if you really think into it, because you don't want to just lay out and have steak and lobster. That's just too fancy. You got to have stuff you can shove in your face while you're yelling at the game.
Told you to get elaborate here.
So I'm going full. I'm going to channel my inner Casey, and I'm going to go Wagyu beef sliders.
Okay.
Throw
You
those
can
thing
have
in.
multiple things. Like you don't have to have one.
With some good French fries, and you gotta have the white trash in me really has to say chili dogs. Chili dogs are great for every occasion.
Chili dogs,
and it's got to be the right kind of terrible chili. It can't be some fancy good chili. It has to be borderline dog food chili.
Dog food chili.
So just
that
like
sounds
you
like you have unlimited funds. You have unlimited funds,
Well,
and you're going for dog food chili.
Well,
dogs.
you know what I'm saying. There's just something to say about the starchy and the MSG. It makes it taste so much better. And you got to have fake cheese. You got to have the old American cheese slices. None of this fancy cheddar stuff.
Yeah,
I think I'm by. I don't know how national the Wiener Schnitzel franchise is, but Wiener Schnitzel chili dogs are the greatest things ever, and they are so trashy, but they are so damn delicious.
No, I've never even seen a restaurant.
I tried to buy a bunch of hats. They had these promotional hats this summer that said you'll love my wiener, and they were sold out before I could buy one. Everybody loves my wiener. That's what it said. Yeah.
Well, all right. Eric says, I want my staples: homemade ranch, homemade guacamole, wings, charcuterie board, meatballs, tri-tip, things that you can walk up and eat and come back to. Yeah, that's what I like. I like where you're at. And Eric's got some sausage balls going on.
Oh yeah,
balls.
Anything in ball form is delicious.
So I'm gonna go like all out here. I'm gonna get some like Wagyu. Casey's making the Wagyu steak nachos, though. He's using that and putting it on nachos with all the fixins. Then I'm gonna get Corey to smoke some of his wings, I think, and the picture on the thumbnail is Corey with the grill, I believe. What else? Meatballs is always I love meatballs in a slow cooker or something, just doing that thing. What else would I do? Probably some ribs. I'd probably get Jason to throw some ribs, and then a charcuterie board or something like that with all your meats and cheeses and pickles and olives and stuff you can just kind of pick at. I think I'd run that way. What about your beverage of choice? So unlimited funds. It's a Super Bowl. I think Corey would probably be throwing in the PBR there in a nice 8 times up Yeti.
Mm-hmm.
But what would you do? What's your thought for beverage?
I'm a whiskey guy. I don't drink a ton of beer, but for something, as long as the Super Bowl, you gotta think about longevity. So I like this year I went with a Elijah Craig rye, so something low proof that
Yeah.
you're going to remember this. You're still going to be able to watch the second half with. So,
James says he'll eat everything.
I can attest to that.
And Eric's throwing out something for Troy, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
See, that's the thing about. I've got a problem with charcuterie boards. I'm more of a back in Ohio or here in Ohio, we do more of like a meat and cheese tray. So it's like provolone and maybe a variety of cheese. But now these charcuterie boards came out and it's like ruined it for me because like, the girls want to put 4 kinds of olives on there and some sort of berries and that's just
Pomegranate seeds. And
that's just fodder. I don't want that on
figs
my.
And,
I just want meat and
I'll
cheese.
take care of you.
Maybe a pickle.
Yeah.
So, since Utah is really light in the whiskey department, for Whiskey Weekend Batch 4, I've decided that, like Eric, I'm going to branch out with my offerings. And my plan is to build the greatest charcuterie board I've ever created for you guys.
Uh-oh.
We're going a week early, so I'm shopping all of Louisville for everything I can find, and I'm going to stack that baby up.
Yeah, make sure you text me when that's happening.
Oh yeah.
Whiskey Mutant smoked a pork butt this year for nachos and sandwiches. See, I'm all about the nachos lately. I love nachos.
It's hard to beat a good pork butt too.
Yeah, like that just sounds great. That sounds great. Oh, Eric's got 101 on the rocks. I go for ice if it's a stamina day.
Good choice.
So that longevity, I like that. Yeah, I think I'd probably go for maybe like that. Money's not an option. You got to remember this. So I'm going to go back to a couple Christmases ago when Conway hooked us up with Jefferson's presidential Stitzel Weller, and probably sip on some of that for the Super Bowl. It's a low proof, it can hold in, but I think that and some of those nachos and whatnot would be a solid little party.
That would be awesome. With my palate as bad as it is, I think something that nice is almost wasted on me. It's like I like it or I don't like it, but I don't feel like my palate is refined enough to justify drinking somebody's bourbon, that nice of a bourbon.
I think you're selling yourself short here. If you haven't watched Bar Night at Home, we got Eric on the chat here. Troy does pretty well in this Bar Night at Home challenge that they do.
And Eric is very bitter about that.
Is he?
Oh, it's getting to be a thing. Yeah.
All right, Jason, what's the drink?
Being a whiskey guy, I usually make cocktails and like really, I have one drink that I'm debating on if it's going to cancel out my whiskey card or not.
Oh, no.
But I make this. It's basically a take on a whiskey sour. I take basically an entire thing of bourbon, and then homemade sour mix. So it's basically 1 part bourbon to half part sour mix and a half part apple juice. You mix them.
Apple juice.
And
okay.
It's absolutely dangerous. It tastes like a fresh apple, and you can drink 32 ounces, which is not recommended. But it happens, and it's scary.
Yeah, sometimes those cocktails will get you. I made that mistake a couple years ago at a 4th of July party. I thought I would dilute my whiskey, so I was drinking like lemonade and a Yeti cup, half and half. And about the time I was cooking hamburgers, it hit me hard.
Oh yeah.
Whiskey sour though, isn't there an egg white in whiskey sour?
And most, and some, yeah. This is more kind of like a summer punch, but
okay, yeah.
I guess I could put it, but
what have you had a whiskey sour with an egg in it, or like the egg whites? I never have, and I don't think I'd want to.
If you didn't know it was in there, you wouldn't. It just kind of adds to the
foaminess. Like it looks like
makes
it's
it kind of a foamy and a little. You wouldn't. I mean,
does it cream it up or what?
A little bit. I mean, it just kind of adds to
clap.
the, yeah. I don't know. It just kind of
Jack and Coke.
just smooths it out a little bit, so it's more of a has a little bit of a thickness, richness to it, but not really
Interesting.
it's not eggnog thick, but it's and you have all the acid from the citrus and the alcohol, so you're killing anything that's it's
eggy.
basically yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know.
Yeah,
I was
interesting.
actually, to be honest, the first one I drank on a dare because I never put it in there when I was growing up.
Yeah, like I have no qualms.
But
I have no qualms with eggs, but just in my mind, I'm like, I don't know if I want that in there. But I was watching a cocktail thing on some Instagram or whatever, and I was like, oh, interesting. But my wife loves amaretto sours.
Mm.
Those are dangerous.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fine. I had.
Well,
Tell
you got some in the background too, so you qualify.
I do.
Tell them how mad you are.
No, actually, it wasn't even the Troy comment. It was the egg. You want an egg in your whiskey sour.
Do you?
There you go. For the egg.
Okay.
You want an
well-
egg in your whiskey sour, just the egg white. You want fresh squeezed lemon juice, and
Yep.
our favorite is to top it with just a little bit of wine. It's called
Mhm.
a New York sour.
Yep.
Oh, really?
And
Those are
yeah,
delicious.
not only they're amazing, but they will sneak up on you like it's their job. So
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Now
egg
Now that
and
we've
whiskey
got Eric
sour.
on here, we can ask him all of those questions we just went through.
Yeah. Eric, what's the Super Bowl? I think you threw it in the chat, but you just want to double up on that a little bit. The Super Bowl meal.
Well, I mean, I think you need to have food that you can walk up to and eat and then walk away. Be able to make a plate and then still want more of that later. Like Jason said, you don't want steak and crab and all those things. I mean, those are great, but if it's coming to food, man, you got to have. That's just like the turkey on the rock. It's got to be a longevity situation. You got to be able to eat and drink all day long. Right?
Like an
That's
hors d'oeuvre type of
That's
thing.
a full day.
I like
It's
that.
like a whiskey weekend situation. It's all day. You got to be ready.
Flannel ascots.
Sounds like a challenge.
Listen.
Hey,
Like they said, I can change, Eric. If like, all right?
That's just a man secure in his own
I just
skin.
didn't want to. I didn't want to bring the show down, so I said, "Quick, give me that." What is this called?
Buffalo plaid blanket scarf.
Buffalo plaid blanket scarf. That's what I
There
said. I
we
said,
go.
"Give me that buffalo plaid blanket scarf." Obviously,
They make great
you
gifts.
rock well.
Yes.
And that's bourbon and blush.
Never too
Yeah.
early to shop for Christmas.
Yeah. And all right. So favorite meals in. Eric said 101 on the rocks, or if longevity 101 on the rocks for his drink. Yeah. So that works.
I will give one disclaimer that I learned when I was actually making ribs for the Super Bowl, albeit delicious. And if you're really into the team you're watching, I would recommend you not, because what happens when you eat a rib? You got sticky fingers. And as soon as you get excited, you turn around and high five and cover your buddy in barbecue sauce and on the couch and on everything. So I think after careful review, I may not do that again.
That's a lesson you have to learn the hard way.
Yeah. I feel like that's experience right there. Experience
Yeah.
talking.
I almost made
Hey,
Never
I
mind.
noticed Ian's off the coffee.
Yeah. I switched it up to the Thai old fashioned.
Oh, that's right. You told us.
Yeah.
I have my own man colonoscopy on Friday, so this is officially the start of my liquid meals. So here we go.
Welcome to 50.
And Eric's calling out Eric for something here.
Boom.
I think it's a thing. I think it's a
I think
thing.
it has to.
I mean, listen. If we make it happen, I'll wear the scarf, and only the scarf.
Oh,
Hey.
That's worth all the charcuterie board. That's a whole new meaning of meats and cheeses.
Yeah.
That's true.
There's jokes, but I'm
Uh-huh. Well, Troy, you got anything else going on?
Sorry. I did have a proud father moment this week.
Nice.
My son texted me yesterday, and he was taking his girlfriend to Lexington for like a late Valentine's trip, so he wanted to know some recommendations. So I gave him some distilleries. He ended up going on a Buffalo Trace tour.
Oh,
I'm trying to think what date. I think this morning, and came home with a bottle of Eagle Rare and Buffalo Trace. And he's not really a bourbon drinker yet, but it sounds like he's working that way. So, and recommended a pizza place and a couple other stuff. I didn't have him go to Casey's house just because I didn't know if Casey was going to be cooking anything. But yeah, so he had a good weekend in Kentucky, and I was
awesome.
just glad to be useful for something. He doesn't call me for advice much yet, so he hit my wheelhouse.
Yeah, no kidding. So promising bourbon drinker, or I feel like with the influence from you and the Ohio boys, bourbon's in his future for sure.
Yeah, he's just at the beginning stages. He's still mostly cocktails, bourbon cocktails a lot, but straight whiskey or even on ice, I don't think he's handles the, he complains about the burn, which I'm like, that's not a burn, that's a hug. But
exactly. You make friends with it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a long ways from that, and we'll see. I have my youngest, she's 4 right now, but she like grab a bottle and be like, I want to smell this one. So I pop the cork and like let her smell. She's like, I like that one. Like, not yet, you don't. Not yet, you don't.
Yeah,
but
matter of fact, I'm going to take this chance to publicly shame my boy because he is a whiskey guy, except for he loves the Crown Royal.
Hey,
and I love you, James, but
I hear those bottles don't break.
Unbreakable bottle. Well, yeah,
that's actually true. If anybody's watching and they're not sure, they do not break.
We've tried it.
I personally tried it.
It's unbelievable. They're very sturdy.
You know what, Jason? I have some friends a lot of times that'll say, oh, really into bourbons or whatever, and then when you ask them what they want, they always throw a Crown in there. And I have to say, they're noble, and they're single barrels that they've been coming out with now, that hand selected barrels. They're solid.
They're not
bourbon,
noble collection. Yeah.
But they're solid. They're very good. They're very good for just, a glass. So
yeah.
You guys talking about Crown Royal reminded me that my son's weekend wasn't a total success. He stopped at there's a liquor store right across the river from Cincinnati, the Party Source. It's like the biggest square foot liquor store in the country, I think, or used to be. But anyway, he did come out of there with a bottle of Crown Peach. So it wasn't all proud moments, but
have you tried the Crown Peach though?
Yeah, I have a bottle here. I haven't opened it, but I bought it just for trade bait.
I mean, I honestly can't say anything negative, mostly because I just admitted my favorite cocktail drink. So I can't drink the whiskey punch and then turn around and
I won't name the distillery, but I just bought a bottle of bourbon that was aged in a peach brandy barrel that I've been told tastes like peach rings for around $100.
Nice.
Those Crown Peaches are $30 a piece. So, but they are, but they go when they come into Pennsylvania, they go faster than Blanton's. Not that. Not that Blanton's is insane, but I mean, gone as soon as they put the display out or somebody knows they have them, they are gone. They're more or less allocated at this point here.
I feel like Crown's not that far off though. If you enjoy Crown, even on the rocks, I feel like that's a good like entry or something into some kind of Jason influence now. So you've got a good spot where a whole bunch of sample bottles are going to be sent and some good flights happening.
And about 2 or 3 years ago, I was at the duty free on our fishing trip trying to buy a bottle for the week up there, and there wasn't a whole lot of selection. It was either Jack Daniels or Woodford, and so I bought a bottle of Crown, that rye. I can't remember the name of it. Some sort of
Northern Harvest
rye.
Rye. It's
Yeah,
good.
that's what I drank that week. Yeah.
Yeah. So that actually won whiskey of the year. What was it? 4 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. The Northern Harvest Rye. But
Yeah.
because it won whiskey of the year, they just pumped a ton of it out, and the batches were so inconsistent. So you can get a really good one, or you can get a kind of garbage one.
Oh.
But that stuff's for a rye. It's pretty good. But yeah, Crown's not that bad.
All right, guys, I'm gonna give you back your show, and
Take care,
Thanks for
man.
jumping on, man.
Thanks for
I'm
getting
gonna
on.
finish off watching you guys for sure, and love what you're doing.
And that's Bourbon and Blush, Eric.
Laura's Bourbon and Blush. Yeah,
Laura's Bourbon and Blush.
I'm nothing. I'm just
So
there.
if you want your
model right
own
now?
buffalo plaid,
You don't want a model right now. You'll lose your rating.
You're
Don't
the
get me-
you're the model right now. You got the scarf. Anyways,
And don't get me started on the bourbon balls. Those are pretty good too.
Yeah, hop on
Yes.
for bourbon balls. But and we appreciate the shout out. But we'll
Yeah.
finish up watching this and love what you guys are doing. And I didn't say it to everybody, but I'm not mad that Troy's in the lead with wins for barnnight.com, but it's definitely some voter fraud going on. That's all. That's all I have to say.
you say
Okay.
voter fraud, I say gamesmanship.
Yeah. You got to know your audience.
But I know we've talked about the Barn Night guys, and we want to have you guys. We want to do something with you guys as well.
Oh,
So
that'll be fun.
we'll work that out. But everybody knows Troy goes in last. So. All right, guys, take care, man. We'll
Take care.
see ya.
see you, Eric. All right. Well, that was fun. Eric jumped in and defended his
Absolutely.
honor against the voter fraud, Troy.
Yeah. He always says, I feel like I'm not that far behind, but he's been losing ground. I think he did win one of the last episodes, but he's been slipping in the standings.
Oh, it's fun. So check that out too. It's barnnight.com, I believe, right?
Barnnight.com. Yep.
Yeah. YouTube show, and they do it live, and it's fun. Double blind. I think you get your significant others to pour it all out, so you have no clue what's going on.
Right. They pour for us, and we've got an episode planned here, I think, in next season for the wives to actually join us on camera.
Oh,
So
nice.
we'll see how
Oh,
that
sweet.
goes.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
That'll be really cool. Awesome. Well, Jason, you got anything else? Troy just did a shout out, and you called out your son for drinking Crown. So
Yeah, I'll leave it there. I'll plant my flag right there. I plant.
yeah. All right. Any other Super Bowl tips or tricks before we sign off?
No,
Make sure you take the day off far in advance.
like Monday or
day
Sunday.
after?
Yeah, I made
day after.
the day off and the day of. Monday is a very good day for a sick day. So
Yeah, that's a good
from
call. That's a
very
good
much
call.
experience.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are the Flannel Panel. You can check us out at Flannel Panel Streams on Instagram. We probably should start using that a bit. We're on pretty much every Wednesday. You never know who's going to join us, and it'll be fun. I'm not sure what the next week's topic is, but we'll be posting that shortly. You can find teas on. Do you have Instagram, Troy?
I do. I have it. Yeah, under Troy Coates, but I've never posted anything. So basically, no.
So he doesn't have it. He does, but he does.
I have an account, but I just look at your stuff.
I just creep on everybody's stuff, and
Yep.
it works.
It's not weird. It's all right.
And Jason,
Yeah. I actually try my damnedest on Instagram. It's the page is called "It's a World in My Glass." I don't even remember my own page, but a world in my glass. I just basically throw pictures of whiskey and things that I'm lucky enough to get from friends and whatnot. So I'm very
love it.
bad at it, but I really like to do it. So what the hell?
and you take great pictures. It's fun. You're
Oh,
very
thank you.
thoughtful, and I appreciate the effort you put into your posts. It's really nice.
Thank you.
So that's that, and that's it for this week, folks. So cheers to you all, and we'll see you next week. Take care, everyone.
See you.